Cloud 9000.
What's happening, people? Welcome to another episode of the Everything 9000 podcast. And you know what? It's a special episode. You know what? It's a special episode.
Why?
Episode 69.
69.
69.
Right. Cool. What's so special about episode 69?
It just took me back, man, that, like, we've done 69 episodes.
Right, you've done 69.
Some would say we've done a 69.
Right. Okay. What does that mean?
I love how you get uncomfortable, man.
No, but what is the significance of 69? I don't get it.
It's just a big number, do you not think?
No, I do think it's a big number. I mean, what would be bigger is 70, I guess, but...
Right.
So I don't know why you made a point of 69.
I don't know, 69 just like...
What is it? What does it signify, though? Like, I don't get it.
What is it? I can't remember now. It's a big number, though.
Right.
There's only one thing to talk about in this episode, really. We're going to touch on a couple of things at the end, but there's one thing to talk about, and it is Sweet Bobby. Sweet Bobby.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet Bobby.
Okay, give an overview, I think, to people that haven't watched it, and then we'll get into it.
Right, well, overview is, it's about a woman called Kirat, right? She's from Punjabi descent, and, well, all the characters are Punjabi, right? It's based in Hounslow?
London. Either way.
Yeah, based in London, and it's about, like I said, Kirat, who was in a quote-unquote relationship with someone called Bobby, right, for 9 to 10 years' time, and it's about how that relationship unfolded, and what seemed to be a relationship wasn't a relationship. We'll get to it all. Surely, if you've heard about it, you've not heard about it. Hashtag catfish. That's what we're talking about here, right? I actually wrote some notes going through it.
Okay, interesting.
Because...
Firstly, can I just say, did you listen to the podcast on it?
No.
See,
but I had heard of the podcast before this whole Netflix saga.
So, yeah, I'm like big on listening podcasts and stuff. So I had heard the podcast, but I hadn't finished it. But basically the podcast does go into a lot greater detail than the Netflix documentary itself. Yeah. Just to kind of say, and the podcast is very, very engaging, by the way. For one reason or another, I haven't finished it ever. But generally, I would say the podcast is like, if you found the documentary to be like really good, which it is, in terms of, I'm just not talking about the content, but just in terms of like it's how good it is to watch. The podcast, if you give it a listen, is even better, I think, than the
Well, yeah, the Netflix episode is only, an hour and 20 minutes, something like that?
Yeah.
So there's only so much detail I can
There's so much detail, but yeah, I think listening to the podcast is a different experience.
No, I think a lot of people have said that. But you know what? The first thing that I came across in the episode that seemed a bit far-fetched was when he was like, I'm in witness protection in New York. I was like, hold on a bit. Like that's... Because at this point of the episode, we have seen the real Bobby in a nightclub. And
so she had first met him in Brighton. So Bobby is a real person that she has met. That's the beginning, like of the first thing.
Yeah.
Basically, his family background is like Kenyan, Asians that had moved to Kenya and then had subsequently basically come to the UK. So there's a lot of Asians with Kenyan backgrounds, Ugandan backgrounds, African backgrounds in the UK itself. Yeah. So he was part of that community. And I understand that she's also part of that community too, if I can't...
I mean, if you want these details, you can either listen to the podcast or watch the show. Let's get to the juice.
Okay, go on.
Right, let's not bullshit.
Okay,
right?
Go on.
Let's get to the juice. The first thing I thought was a bit, okay, what's going on here was a witness protection in New York.
It's a bit far-fetched.
If you're on Tinder, you've jumped on chatting to someone, yeah, and they've said, do you know what? I can't speak anymore. I'm in a witness protection program in New York, in a completely different city, by the way.
Yeah, so I think they give context to the fact that she was possibly was she not in contact with him already? All of a sudden, he'd been shot. So like she was already speaking to him for a couple of years, I believe, at that point, and then his supposed wife, who actually is his real wife, had put up a Facebook post saying that my husband's been shot 6 times, etc. He's now in a hospital. Pray for him. And then the next she hears of him is apparently he's in New York with having been put in witness protection.
Yeah.
So at that point, I think it's not far-fetched that you wouldn't believe it. Look, benefit, foresight is a great thing, once you know what's what. But
you mean hindsight?
Sorry, what did I say?
Foresight.
Oh yeah, hindsight is a great thing. Yeah. So, it's a great thing.
No, I get all the points. Hindsight's a great thing. I get catfishing wasn't a bigger thing back then. online social media wasn't as big of a presence. But you know what? There have been some points refuting that. Apparently back in the day, there was a whole TV program on catfishing, right? So it was a known concept.
It was a known concept.
Maybe not in the mediums that she experienced it through, right? I.e. Facebook and, you know, social media, as that was blowing up at the same time that this happened.
No, I get that. But I think given the context that she had seen this person, had then built up a slight relationship, if not more than a slight relationship, through communications over Facebook, etc. He said, look, I'm getting married, and they were out of touch for a bit. I think suddenly back in touch. She hears he's been shot 6 times. Now the next she hears he's in New York in a hospital, like, you know, in the witness protection. So I think it's believable given the context, I think. So I it's something that I think a reasonable person...
At what point, though, if you've not met them, at what point, at how much time does it need to go for you to think, okay, something's a bit dodgy here?
I think the point that you make about having not met them, I think you need to realise a lot of people have online relationships that go on for years, having never met them. And those relationships absurdly become closer than you may have a relationship with somebody that you physically see. Right? So I don't think the fact that she hadn't met him is a huge consideration in this case, because they'd been communicating for a number of years by then.
I don't agree with that point. I don't agree that you feel closer to someone by having an online relationship than you do by meeting them.
I think I disagree with you wholly on that. I think there's, like, if you look at it, instances, like, for example, our generation was the first generation sort of thing to grow up chatting to each other online. I was like, when I was in school, I remember chatting to like people online and never speaking to them in real life at school itself. Right? Or hardly ever speaking to them.
What do you mean?
So, like, have you never chatted to like some sort of like, whether it's a girl or something from your school, and you've built a relationship online where you're just chatting to each other every evening or whatever?
So you're saying from school?
Yeah.
So you're saying this is someone you actually like... Wait.
Yeah, there's been loads of instances. We were like, don't forget, we were like the first generation of like MSN, and then the Facebook sort of came through, you know, when you would chat to each other on Facebook in the evenings after school, right? There's so many people that you chat to at that point. You built up relationships online that you would otherwise never speak to in real life.
No, I get that.
So I think it's...
But that doesn't mean... I don't think you'd go... If I think that's the nature of the conversation that you're having with those people. It's very surface level. And you know, how you do it.
I think, honestly...
Well, you're on FaceTime to them every night.
No, it's not you're on FaceTime to every night. But what I'm trying to say is, like, you need to understand... Look, I work in immigration, right? Okay, yeah. I basically do a lot of, like, applications of visas for people that I've met online, and they've built up relationships online where they've chatted to each other for, like, fucking 5-6 years before they even met up. So I think it's wholly conceivable that you can build up a really close relationship with somebody completely online, having never met them. I think you sort of discarding that and thinking, oh, it's, you know, I think it's a wrong sort of statement to make. You don't understand how close somebody can get, literally just sitting in their own room in the comfort of their own home, chatting to somebody and having a totally different relationship with somebody that they've never met for years and years and years. And it happens around you all the time. So you need to be more reflective of that, I think.
I think it happens with a normal conversation happening. I don't think it happens with a curveball being thrown every other sentence.
I think it does. I think you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised, mate.
Amrit, it's not where, I'm in witness protection with New York. I'm now in a hospital. I'm going to send a blurry picture of a hospital with all these wires. I can't meet, even though we know exactly where you are, whatever it is. In your instance, you're saying, okay, there's immigration problem. Maybe there are actual border problems of being able to meet.
Not just border problems, bro.
So don't just focus on that. Focus on the fact that there's a curveball every other sentence.
There is a curveball. Yeah, it makes it sound more dramatic than otherwise. But I think it's not
unbelievable.
It's unbelievable, yes, but not wholly unbelievable, I think.
So it's unbelievable
to an extent.
Okay.
So it's not unbelievable in the sense that you think. I think if you were put in that situation, you may have sort of like had a different mindset to it, thinking, what the fuck's going on, right? But you have to sometimes remove yourself from your own thinking and your own sort of like awareness and see it from the perspective of the person that's going through it, what their life experiences are. She was obviously a very vulnerable person, by the way, I think. Yeah, that's one thing you have to be very sort of clear about.
Yep, she was.
So, you know, there were certain things in her life that she wanted at that point where she was willing, and I think
she'd just come out of a 10-year relationship that didn't work out.
Exactly.
Right. So there's vulnerability there.
And
then also the societal pressure from her background and her family saying that you need to get married.
Exactly.
So those are 2 points I genuinely understand. And you know what? It's a very interesting point. What do you make of the point that in our Punjabi culture, we really do push people to get married at a young age? And it's like, you know, we hear it all the time. If you're not married in your 30s, especially as a girl, right? It's almost like you're bringing shame on the family.
It is, yes. And I think, I mean, the pressure is sort of like less relentless, I would say, like than it was like 30 years ago, perhaps, you know, in rural India at the moment.
We are talking 20 years ago?
Yeah, not 20 years ago, about 10 years ago, I would say.
Was this 10 years ago?
Yeah, this was about 10 years ago. So I think, so the timeline is between like 2011 till like 2021 or whatever.
Yeah.
So through the years as it scrolls through.
Yeah.
So but although it's not as relentless sort of as it used to be before, but that still's there. Like it's the expectation now, and you're sort of like really looking at relationships in a viewpoint to get into a long term or like a settlement settle with somebody. So I think that's a lot of the mentality that a lot of Asians
same shit basically.
Over 25, over 27, when they start dating, I think the majority of the Asians sort of like look for a relationship with settling with that person in mind, essentially. I think that's where we're sort of different from perhaps other communities in the UK. So there's that aspect as well, obviously, to it. And I think that's huge in terms of trying to understand someone's psyche.
But do you think it's right or wrong?
It's obviously wrong, I think, you know, but then it's wrong in the sense that it's something that will take a long time to change, because culturally we don't, although this happens in India a lot now anyway, especially in the cities, you do have live-in relationships where people are not married. But if you come think from the rural sort of like background that all of the people that in the UK sort of come from, majority of the Asians that have migrated have all come from villages and stuff, the live-in sort of situation has never been heard of. It's not something that's even considered. It's not even something that people even conceive of, right? We've always had sort of like traditional marriages and so on. And so that sort of mentality is then put into our children that have grown up in the UK ever since as well. So it's wrong to an extent, but they've not really known anything else other than that.
I know. I think there's nothing wrong with a parent wanting their child to get married and settle down in their house. I think that the initial thought isn't wrong. I think where it becomes wrong is where you're not getting married. What will so and so say? You know, you're this age now. No one's going to want you. That's where it becomes wrong.
Yeah, so I think parent worrying that the child needs somebody and they don't want the child to be alone as they go through life, that's a genuine concern. I think that I sort of relate to that anyway, right? But yeah, it becomes ridiculous when it comes to the point where you're sort of like asking the person to marry, not out of your own genuine concern for their company or like, you know...
I thought you might be spitting in my water every other sentence.
Oh my days.
But yeah, go on.
But it becomes a problem when the pressure is because of society rather than their own concerns for the person.
Yeah, for the child. It just becomes toxic, I think.
It becomes toxic. And I think when it becomes toxic, that's at the moment that you sort of push your children into making decisions which aren't so rational.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I don't think that was the sort of like thing. I didn't get a sense that, because her parents were interviewed, I didn't get that sense from her parents that they were...
100%. She made a comment 3 to 4 times that there was a lot of pressure from her family, given that she'd come out of a failed relationship, given that she didn't want to let her family down, she didn't want to, you know, bring shame on the family. She actually said these things. So this is a very recurring theme that I came across anyway, that she mentioned it.
Okay.
Right? So that's why I bring it out. That's why I talk about it. So like I said, I completely empathize with her being a vulnerable human being. Yeah? I completely empathize with her facing pressures. But I'm sorry, it's still too much.
I think so, but I think you're looking at it from your, you know...
No, I'm not, because I've just looked at it from her perspective. I've empathized with the situation. And to an extent, I'm not saying I've experienced it as deeply, but I am also from a Punjabi household. I understand that, you know, there is a pressure from your parents at a young age to get married. So I relate to that. And I can only imagine how it is when you've been through a relationship and it's failed and, you know, the pressure's ramping up. I get it.
But I think your mentality and your psyche is very different. And also you're looking from a masculine point of view, and you're sort of already like, I think you're coming from the position of like a bit of a toughened or a hardened position, in the sense that if you sense something's wrong, you want to get to the bottom of it. But I think if you look at it from a girl's perspective, from the vulnerabilities that she had, I think it's a totally different ballgame, and I think you can't judge her by the same standards that you would judge yourself in that given situation.
I'm not judging just myself. I'm judging any human being.
That's what I mean.
In the UK.
Yeah, I get that, but I think it's still...
I think you have to... I think you need to stop defending it, Amrit, and understand that it's an extreme situation.
It's an extreme situation.
Just put the politics and the bullshit and the nice PC Amrit aside, yeah? Is it stupid or not?
It's to an extent, it is, yes. But I think
what
not
do you mean?
at that
Stop qualifying everything like a lawyer. just talk normal, Amrit. You're not on a BBC podcast, mate.
Yeah, I know.
You're not on national radio.
But this is
my it stupid?
genuine...
Yes or no? Not to an extent, or I may or may not, or you need to. Is it stupid? Yes or no?
To an extent, I believe it is, but
You know what? You're losing credibility, mate. Have some balls.
Okay.
What are you scared of?
No, I mean, jokes aside, like, this is my genuine opinion, though.
What do you mean? Like I said, I have an opinion too, that I empathise with where she's vulnerable, and I empathise with the pressures. Mm-hmm. But 9 to 10 years without meeting them.
Yeah, I guess so.
To the extent where you're saying, I love you, to the extent where he's on FaceTime and you've accepted that he would only communicate by tapping or grunting. Which red flag did you not... Which one didn't register? It's not just one red flag.
Yeah,
these are crimson red, national size, UK size flags.
I completely understand the point that you're making.
You're talking like a lawyer. You're talking like a lawyer.
It's not I'm talking like a lawyer, man. But
you're talking like a politician. You know what? These very politicians that you hate, and when they chat shit and talk around in circles, just get to the point, Amrit.
Right. I agree with you. I think to...
Do you want to start that sentence again?
I agree with you to an extent. I think I see your point, right?
What do you mean by you're still talking like a politician?
So what do you want me to do? Do you want me to agree with you?
You're thinking about what you're saying.
No.
I see your point, Aman. You sound like Boris Johnson.
Right, okay. So do you just want me to agree with you? Is that the whole...
I don't want you to agree. You can disagree, but just stop talking like a politician. So you're beating around in circles.
Right.
Or you can outright be like, nah, it's not fucking... Like... I think you're going for a very PR-PC answer here.
It's not that. Trust me. It's what is it?
I think it's empathising with someone.
Yeah.
Which we are both agreed on, right?
I agree with you. It is stupidity to an extent. Like, you know, you've had so long with that one person where you've sort of been in a relationship, not seen them. But outside of your experience, you've got to realise sometimes a lot of people do have long relationships online. Like, I've seen that sort of shit. It's not completely abnormal that somebody... has a relationship with someone.
We've accepted it. We've spoken about this and we've accepted this.
Okay, that's fine.
But you're not acknowledging the levels of extremes. Of extreme
situation of like, and I don't want to go into down into that realm. Okay, yeah, because it's obviously very different. Is it too different? You know, like we obviously studied law, right? Okay, yeah. Have you ever heard of the battered woman syndrome? And I don't want to compare it to that situation, but I'm sort of like making sort of slight parallels to it. A battered woman syndrome is where somebody's in an abusive relationship and that person basically carries on for a number of years. Realize to you, me and you, it's very clear that this is
Stockholm syndrome.
No, it's not Stockholm. A battered woman syndrome is different. Stockholm syndrome is, I think, where somebody's sort of like
where the prisoner starts to form a relationship with the abuser.
The abuser, right. Yeah. So this is
what's the difference here then?
So the difference is like here when a woman is in a relationship that's abusive. So do you remember the case of?
I don't.
Aluwalia, I think it was a big... We learn about it in criminal law. But there's one thing is the battered woman syndrome where basically somebody is in an abusive relationship for a number of years where they essentially just sort of like have been in that relationship. To you, me and you from the outside, it seems so obvious that this is a whole fucking red flag. It's a sea of red flags, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that it's an abusive relationship, get out there.
Yeah.
But the person stuck in that
can't
relationship...
see it because it's normalised to them.
It's normalised to them.
I understand. I get that.
So I think this is what's happened in that situation where like...
I still don't agree. I get that. I get that point. And there's cases like that and I fully sympathise with whoever the victim is in any scenario because it's difficult, right? But this is like... It's all... I don't want to seem harsh, but it's almost like...
I think you're looking at it from a viewpoint of it's very black and white, but it's not black and white.
I've not said that. I think that's wrong to say that because then you're just not listening to anything I've said in these 20 minutes we've been on air.
Okay.
Because to say that I'm just saying it's black and white, you're not listening to where I've said I've empathised with a lot of what she's been through.
I appreciate what you're saying, you empathise with it, but I still think there's one thing empathising and you're understanding a perspective, right? Okay, yeah, and you're understanding the context that she's in. But despite you're saying that, there's obviously great extremes. The fact that, you know, this person is you have to realize from what it seems like anyway, from the documentary and the podcast, this person wielded a lot of control over her emotions, over her well-being.
Yeah.
Like every single day. She just basically said that, you know,
man like Simran.
You know,
crazy.
Yeah. So, but like, yeah. So this aside, like, so this relationship she had basically like built with this person online, this sort of shit is not abnormal. It sort of happens to a lot of people, I think. Right? It's not something that's kind of exclusive. So from your point, looking at it from the outside, it seems...
I'm sorry, this situation, the way this unfolded, is not happening to a lot of people, in my opinion.
You'd be surprised.
I think I am... No, I don't think I would be. Because this is a 1 in a million story that Netflix have grabbed. And Simran.
I don't get it. Like, why would she do it, man?
That's the real question that everyone has been asking. Why?
So, in the documentary itself, they said that they approached her and she had apparently said that, you know, there was a lot of unfounded sort of claims made and that, you know, she can't get into it. But she declined to obviously interview. So, yeah. And then obviously the picture that they'd used was not the real Simran. That was
There's been pictures floating of her.
Oh, really? Mm. Oh, geez. No way.
They're all over the internet now. There's 2 or 3 pictures.
No way. I probably need to search that up, man. That's interesting. Because I thought whether it be the real Simran or not, but then obviously it was an actor. Mm. But I think that's the real Bobby, though, isn't it?
That's the real Bobby. Yeah.
And the real Sanj.
Real Sanj.
Is that her name? Actual name as well, Sanj?
I don't know. I don't know.
Bobby's name is definitely Bobby. But yeah.
But to go through the process of creating 60 profiles, creating your own little mini monopoly of, you know, like...
It's like creating a whole world. It's like creating Harry Potter.
Yeah, it's like Sims.
You know what I mean? It's nuts. And she'd basically begun doing it when she was, what, like a lot younger than she... What, in her teens or something, I guess. Late teens. Mm. Possibly. Mm. But why would you actually do it? What was the motivation there to do it? What would you think?
Was she an ex of Bobby? Or something
No. She was the ex of his actual brother.
Bobby's brother, right?
Yeah.
So I think there's some feelings there, and she wanted to get back at somebody for something. There must be some of that.
Why would you play like that on your own cousin?
You're crazy. I think she would have got a kick out of it, but from having the control.
Yeah, there is that definite element of controlling somebody.
But it's crazy that a human being can have that much lack of a remorse that you're seeing your cousin lose weight, lose her job, right? Not be a radio presenter anymore and not care. Like, how can you be a human and not feel that?
But yeah, it's nuts though, like how you can have control somebody's life. But you know, what is an offense? You talk about this not being an offense. What is an offense is like basically coercing and somebody and like controlling somebody. But in this situation, it's
that's not an offense.
Removed. No, it is. I've seen people be convicted for it.
No. Like the legal framework.
Controlling a cursive behaviour is an actual offence that you get sentenced for.
Under what? Under what offence?
Like controlling and coercive behaviour, that is an offence in itself. Bro, I've literally...
Controlling and coercive behaviour.
When somebody like controls a victim coercively and like makes them do things, or perhaps not even just make them do things, but like makes them uncomfortable or harasses them. Mm. So there is... It's not completely sort of like black and white, the fact that what she's done is not an offence. The police haven't charged yet, right? At the time of the documentary. But I guess the uproar from this documentary, the police are likely to act anyway. So I think there is a case which can be made of control and coercion.
So it comes under domestic abuse. Right. So that's what I was trying to get at. What's the actual legal framework that it stems under? Okay.
Yeah. So in this instance, would it be classed as domestic abuse because they're not really in a domestic relationship in truth in the sense of what you would view a relationship to be. But I think it's a bit...
But even if Simran had asked for some money, right, then it would come under fraud.
Yeah.
Right? Or if there'd been some harassment where Simran had made a complaint, Kirit had made a complaint that I'm receiving these texts or something, I don't want to receive them. Yeah. And she didn't stop after that point.
Because it wasn't necessarily she didn't want to receive like these texts. She very much wanted to receive those texts.
Then that would have come under harassment, and that would have been another leg.
But then do you not think there's like a sort of like a gap in the legal framework here where you sort of 100%. Need to criminalise this sort of behaviour? Because 100%. This is obviously... The police say, and legally speaking, they're right in the sense saying that, you know, she's not the victim, but Bobby and Sanja, because they've had obviously their identity stolen, right?
Yeah.
So that they're victims of ID theft in that sense.
Yeah.
But I feel like the person who's lost most here, the person who suffered most in this instance is Kirat. And then the fact is, like, legally speaking, it's not recognised. I think that's a bit fucked. And I think this is what, what she's trying to do at the moment, is to try and get that catfishing sort of be caught under sort of like a, like a legal sort of web here. But it's a bit fucked.
It's fucked. It's crazy, man. It's
fucked how this person could possibly get away with it. I think she could possibly obviously get done for, like obviously ID theft, but she should be sort of like punished for a bit more. I think that's a bit too sort of like,
let's see what happens. Lenient. I'm interested to see what falls out from this.
Legally, at least, anyway.
I noticed you had a nice little dopamine hit on your Instagram story this morning.
Oh yes, of course.
So do you want to describe what that Instagram story was?
Oh yeah, the fact that you for months and months and months have been on my case about not coming to gym early in the morning, which I used to go like...
For gym, by the way. For gym.
Right, okay.
Right, but we'll get to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But obviously, I arranged for a badminton game to be played at 7 a.m. this morning.
Yeah, and you knew I'd be there, because, of course, why wouldn't I be?
Yeah.
Right, and I turned up at 7. You turned up at 7:46. I think it was 7:46. Yeah. So you turned up at 7:46, and then we played 4 games of badminton.
Took me about 10 minutes to beat you.
In which you beat me in 3 of them. No, we played for about 25 minutes, mate.
11-2 for the first score.
I don't remember the scores, but I beat you in the last game.
You didn't.
And
you didn't. You threw
basically
you threw
rather
your toys
than
out
just.
the pram.
And the thing is, before we started playing, I said you'd beat me, Amrit, right? But what you couldn't do is you couldn't just take that win. You had to post it on Instagram and get that
100%.
another dopamine hit. But what I'd also like to give an honourable mention to is you drove all that way, and then you came to the gym. You stayed, like you said in your own words, for about 10-15 minutes playing badminton. And then you were umming and ahhing about going to the gym, and I was like, you're here now. You should at least do 45 minutes to an hour in the gym. And you were like, yeah, I'll go. You lied straight to my face, as you often do. And you literally went straight to your car and drove home.
I regretted the moment I saw your car next to mine. I was like, fuck, I thought you'd gone. So I was at that point considering going back upstairs.
Yeah,
but I thought it's too much effort.
But do you know what? Shall I honestly say I'm not even just saying this. Genuinely, you're nowhere near as good as you think you are
at badminton.
Yeah, nowhere near. Listen, your shots are basic. You don't have a mad smash like some of my friends actually play badminton. Like
I don't play badminton regularly. I don't play badminton. I just happen to be better at something than you.
You're not.
But I just pick up like
you're not better than me at it.
You don't think I'm better at you at badminton?
I could beat you. Like, I did beat you, to be fair.
Bro.
But the way you talk about it yourself is like, oh, when we mentioned Izzy, who was meant to join us, you were like, oh, by the way, yeah, I taught him everything he knows.
Yeah.
And I was like, but it's like, you're no guru.
I'm not no guru, but then like...
You're no badminton guru. Honestly, you're far from it. You're not that good.
Yeah, okay.
I think it gets to your head a bit. You think you're sick at it. You're really...
I don't think I'm sick at it. I'm just good at badminton.
There we go. That's my point. You're not good at badminton. Honestly, you are average. Like, I'm below average because I've probably played about 5 games in my life. I think if I played as much as you...
what do you mean? As much as me? I've not played badminton for about 2 years.
No, I'm saying in my whole life, I've played about 5 games. You said
the only time I've literally played badminton is in PE. That's it, bro.
But I thought school. You said to me this morning you played for 8 months with Izzy.
Yeah, that was like one thing aside.
Oh,
like when we
one
had...
thing aside. All I'm saying is, if I played for about 8 months and I developed a skill, it would no doubt be more than what you've got.
I disagree with that wholly.
I tell you what, we've been doing this. I'm in an iron about this idea for a long while.
Listen,
let's do this sportathon.
Yeah,
right,
bro. Listen, I'm going to give you one thing. Okay, we'll do the sportathon. Right, take 12 months. Build up your skills.
I don't need 12 months.
How long do you need?
For you, I don't need 12 months.
Okay, how long do you think you need for badminton? How much practice do you think you need for badminton?
It's 22nd of October.
Yeah.
We'll record this badminton video in January.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
So you can't hold this that I don't have as much experience as you bullshit?
I won't hold that.
Are you sure?
I'm telling you now, I won't even practice. And I know you will practice, but I won't even practice. I know come the moment you will choke.
We'll see.
But it has to be, we'll set the rules of what we need to do for badminton, right? We'll have 4 other sports. Yeah, I don't know if you...
Oh, you really took that defeat from this morning a bit badly, didn't you?
No, not badly. I just... It annoys me that you... And low-key, it cringes me out to my soul that you think you're good at something. You're not good at... Like, if I hand it to you, Amrit, you are a good runner. Right, I hand it to you.
Okay.
You are a good long-distance runner. Not short distance. I would smoke you in a 100-metre race.
Okay.
But Amrit, I hand it to you. You are a good runner. Amrit, you are not good at football.
Okay.
Amrit, you are not good at cricket.
Okay.
Amrit, you are average at best at badminton.
See, the badminton point gets to you because I absolutely annihilate you every time, right? And it's not even like...
You are better than me. I concede that.
Yeah.
I will beat you because you're not as good as you think you are.
Okay, so who do you think is good at badminton?
Gurdev's friend.
Okay.
Brother, sorry. Gurdev.
Yeah.
He's good.
Okay. Do you want me to play him?
He would beat you easy.
Okay, that's your opinion, but it could be different on the court. He may well beat me easily. I agree with you.
Like I beated you.
Like you beated me.
Yeah, like I beat you today.
Right. Did you though?
I did.
You went off on a fucking hissy fit when it was clearly outside the line.
I was celebrating.
Buddy.
I was celebrating.
You literally walked out. The moment you thought...
I walked off celebrating. You were the one on the court. Aman. You had your toys out of the pram on the court.
No.
I was genuinely celebrating. Let's go.
Yeah.
Fucking go. I beat you. And that's all that matters. That I beat you on my fourth attempt.
Right.
So imagine I play a couple of games here or there. I pick up some basic skills.
Cute.
Because let's be honest, I'm not good at this,
bro.
But I can beat you.
Let me tell you one thing. Any racket sport, right? You're not competing with me, bruv. You're not.
Well,
You're not on that level.
Well, we'll add.
Listen, it's
paddle.
not
Paddle is a racket sport, which neither of us have played before.
You don't have the capacity, my brother.
Neither of us have played before. We'll play paddle.
You just don't have the capacity.
We'll play badminton. Right?
I've never played paddle.
I've never played paddle, which is why it's a fair game.
Exactly.
It's fair game.
What, squash?
No. Because we're not just doing all racket sports. We're going to see who's the better athlete, right? We'll exclude cricket because I'm far superior than you.
Okay.
We'll exclude long distance running because you're better than me.
Far superior.
You're better than me.
Can you use the word far?
But do you know what?
No.
Let's have a 100-meter sprint though.
Bro.
No, you give it 10 about running.
Okay,
let's have a 100-meter sprint.
But why is it your far superior? No, why is it?
Why are you shook?
Can I just say one point here? Why is it that you're far superior than me at cricket, but I'm not far superior than you at long distance running?
Because I've got years invested into cricket. You've got less than 3 years.
Right. But I've
got 10 to 15 years. Right. Have you got that?
Okay, but if I was to say, Aman, let's go for a run.
I think there's a difference between a master and a chichu.
Right. Okay. So if you were to go for a run with me, how long do you think you'll last with me?
What do you mean?
The distance. How long do you think you'll last?
What do you mean?
At what point do you think you'll have to give up and stop and start walking?
What is the point of this conversation? That's like me saying, if I bowled at you in cricket, how many balls would you last?
Yeah.
It's irrelevant because I know I'm better than you at cricket. It's irrelevant because you're better than me at running.
Because the term that uses far superior.
Yeah.
And then you try to lay it off as, bro, you can't run a fucking mile.
I can run a mile.
I think we've got proof on video that you can't run a mile.
On a hot summer day, when you and Jugda are present, I can't run a mile. Right. Like I said, we're excluding running. We'll exclude cricket. Yeah. We've agreed on paddle because it's a neutral thing. We've both not played it.
Yeah.
But technically, you're better than me at racket sports. We'll see.
Okay.
We've got badminton. Right. Let's add. What else did we say? Let's do basketball. It's neutral. I'm not good at it. You're not good at it. It's going to be skills based. It's not just going to be a game, by the way. It's going to be skills based. Let's do badminton. Do you want to do football?
Can do.
All right. Let's do football. I love it. Let's do football. I love it because you think you're good at football too, but you are so
I'm better than you.
You're not better than...
Bro,
yeah, hand on heart, do you think you're better than me?
When it comes to playing, I'm below average at football, but... okay, yeah, but I'm still better than you, though.
You're not.
I am.
You're really not. You're really not. Okay, football's the fourth one, and I think...
Cycling.
No, not cycling, because again, that's just one that you're superior at. I think it needs
Far
to be
superior,
one. I think it's one that needs to be...
Cycling. What do you mean? Bro, you know, like cycling...
Oh, we've got the 100-meter sprint. We've got the 100-meter sprint.
Cycling is a basic skill.
That's our 5 sports.
Cycling is a basic skill. Oh, by the way, these sports are not decided yet. We need to have a whole conversation.
We're having the convo now. It's decided.
It's not.
Okay, look, you've agreed on football. You've agreed on paddle. You've agreed on badminton. Right? 100-meter sprint. Are you shook?
No.
Let's do it. So that's 4. And 5, I'm proposing basketball.
But I propose something different. I think we should...
Basketball is neutral, though.
No.
Like, we both have never played it.
One thing, can I just say, I think we should look at it from a different perspective. We'll do 3 neutral things. 1 thing each that we're, like, comfortable with. So where you test the other person's actual, like, athleticism in the sport that you think you're good at, right?
Well, you think you're good at running? I'll smoke your fucking ass. I'm giving you one already.
Okay, why don't we do run 5k? Who does it faster?
No, because we've got a mile video. We've got that content.
It's not that content.
You are shitting yourself right now.
Why don't we do cycling in that?
Oh my god, you are so scared.
We need to.
You call yourself a runner. You don't want to sprint,
bro.
with me.
Bro, why are you deciding what sports we do? Why can't I decide what sports
How do we decide? You've got badminton, right? Far superior. You believe you're better than me. You've got badminton. But what have I got? You think you're better than me at football? What have I got?
It's not that, bro.
What have I got?
No, I'm telling you.
Amrit, we're on air. We're finalising this right now. Okay. Don't be a bitch. Everyone's looking at you right now. You're being a bitch.
It's not about being a bitch.
You are being a bitch.
There are two sports that are up for grabs. I think one of them has to be what you decide. One of them has to be what I decide.
What do you mean? Up for grabs? There's more sports in this that favour you than me.
Really? Are there?
Badminton.
Okay.
No. Yeah. Football, according to you, no.
Okay.
Right. So there's two sports that favour you. What favours me? Paddle doesn't favour me.
Okay.
Right. Okay. But basketball doesn't favour me.
Why doesn't it?
I've never played in my life.
Right.
I've never, I can't remember physically doing it. I think there's skills to be had there, like 3-point. There's actual skills to be tested there. It could be quite entertaining,
I think there needs to be...
And 100-metre sprint favours you, don't? You're a runner.
Does it?
Why doesn't it?
Maybe it doesn't.
You're shook.
So
man.
maybe what you're saying to me...
Shook.
But I think cycling favours you though, bro.
Oh, yeah.
No, I think cycling favours you, man.
Stop being an arse for 1 second. And
No,
you're in a corner.
Listen.
They are.
But it's not fair because, cycling favours you, so why are you not going for it, bro?
So now I'm glad that we've locked in the 5 sports.
We've not locked in the 5 sports.
Are there any other rules that you want to talk about?
Yeah, I think rule number 1, Aman doesn't decide all the 5 sports.
Clearly haven't. We've done it just now on air, right?
That's rule number 1.
You're so
back
shook.
to the boardroom.
I love it though.
We're back
you're
to the
shook
boardroom.
already.
Bro.
The thing is, running, the sprint, you could genuinely beat me, but you're shitting yourself already.
Right. Okay. Listen, buddy. The moment rule number 1 is applied, we'll come back to the boardroom.
We're not coming back to the boardroom. Because I haven't got time to have the same conversation 20 times.
Why?
We're on air. What are you scared of?
It's not being scared.
I mean, what are you scared of?
Listen, brother. We need to make a rule where you don't decide all the 5 sports.
Everything you're trying to do now, or Aman, let's talk about it at another point. Very politician again, man.
Oh, really?
Are you that scared to have a gentleman's agreement right now? Let's shake the hand.
Okay, cycling is one of the sports.
But do you see how you're actually trying to be a conniving prick just by doing that?
Why?
Because we know you're way better than me at cycling.
Okay, but you're way better than me at short distance running.
How?
Because you're faster than me in that sense. So tell me.
But you are a runner. I'm genuinely thinking you could beat me.
Bro, I could beat Usain Bolt.
So can you beat me?
No. Can I just say, I could beat Usain Bolt in a run because he doesn't run long distance at all. He doesn't run beyond 800 meters, right? But do you think I'm a better runner than Usain Bolt in that sense, if you were thinking about it?
But what's the point that you're making here?
So you're saying to me, I'm a runner, so you should beat me in a short distance?
No, but what I'm saying is, I don't practice sprinting, by the way. I did one in an abroad country recently, and I lost.
Okay.
And I lost.
Okay.
I think it'd be fun.
Right.
I don't see what's... I genuinely, in my heart, I believe it'd be close. And given, your running capacity, I think that's a good one, no? Do you not think?
Then what was the... I think basketball is a bit of a...
But what do you propose instead of it, though?
Because I do feel like... but I do feel like you've just chosen the 5 things.
How? Badminton is yours.
Okay, no. But you've chosen it, right? Okay, yeah.
Okay, let's take badminton off the table then.
So
you want to take it off the table then,
So can you not say...
Even though basketball has given me no advantage whatsoever, if you want to take basketball off, let's take badminton off. Okay.
And then what do we put in place?
You tell me. What do you want to put in?
We put in place cricket and cycling.
That's boring though, because we know who's better. Yeah. This is a sportathon to see who's a better athlete in stuff that they're not better at. Why are you trying to play it safe? What are you scared of?
I think basketball's a bit dead, bro.
Okay, so suggest something.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We need to come up with something.
Right now.
Okay.
Stop running away, scared.
I think table tennis would be a close one.
Come on, Amrit, man.
Okay.
Paddle, same thing. Come on, man. Bring some variety.
Variety, if you're looking for variety, kabaddi. Kabaddi would be sick.
We're not doing kabaddi.
It would be sick.
We're not doing kabaddi.
Sort of wrestle to the ground.
Okay. Any other suggestions?
Wrestle to the ground.
Basketball or kabaddi. Okay. What else?
What other sports are there, actually? My mind's gone blank all of a sudden. What about javelin? That'd be good. Javelin would be very good, I think.
Right.
Why?
So are we done, yeah?
Why do you think javelin would be good?
There's golf.
Ooh, that's a good shout.
There's golf.
You can't fucking hit for shit.
It's up to you.
Golf in place
of
the
badminton, yeah?
Basketball.
Oh, no. But what's badminton then?
What do you mean badminton?
We're not having badminton and golf.
But golf, me and you have only played once, that's it, literally together.
Basketball, we've never played, both of us. What's the point there?
So it's the same thing, it cancels it out. We've literally ever played golf together whenever we played. I've literally never been to a golf game otherwise.
It's irrelevant because we also have the same experience for basketball.
But then, so why do you get to decide basketball? I can't pick golf when you've decided all these
Because you
sports?
picked badminton.
Have I?
Okay, you don't want badminton.
Put in cycling instead of badminton.
No, so put in golf for badminton then.
See, but this is the point.
But that's your choice, right?
Okay, so which sports have you picked?
I've not picked one.
You have?
Have I picked paddle?
Yeah.
Did we not agree that paddle is like a neutral that we've never played?
But then golf is neutral in that sense.
Oh my god. Are we really starting this fucking conversation?
But I really don't want to play basketball.
What do you want to do then?
Fucking golf.
But you can't have everything to your advantage.
How is golf
you're picking golf because you're like, oh, you can't hit golf for shit. You can't hit a ball. So is that not to your advantage?
Not to that extent, because I can't hit a ball in golf either.
Amrit, you're just chatting. So this is
I just remember you being really terrible at it.
Exactly, and that's why you're trying to choose it. But I'm just trying to choose something that we're actually both neutral at, and we've just got to apply athleticism. Golf isn't really athlete; it's stand there and swing a fucking ball.
Ball.
Yeah, it is a ball.
Gilli danda.
Last suggestion, otherwise it's done.
I'm not comfortable with basketball.
I'm not comfortable with running a fucking 100-meter sprint with you, but I'm going to do it. I'm not comfortable playing badminton with you, but I'm going to do it.
Badminton?
Yeah.
Is it first to 21?
We'll decide the specifics at a later stage, what we're actually doing. We're just choosing the sports for now. I'm locking it in because you're a pussy. And you're trying to... I love how everyone can see how you're running a bit scared. The camera's going to go off soon. I'm cutting this episode too.
Right.
Finish it off.
5 sports gone lay out to me then.
Badminton, which you're very happy with, right? 100-meter sprint.
Okay.
Yeah. Paddle. It's a new sport. Let's try it as well. And it's neutral. Never played it. Fair ground. Right. Paddle, 100-meter sprint, badminton. Then we have football.
Well, how are we going to test football though?
Amrit, trust me, I've got that on lock. There's like literally entertaining videos after entertaining videos. YouTube is made on football.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. And you believe you're better than me. Right. So isn't that to your advantage? But anyway, and then basketball. It's a major sport. And it's just easy, accessible, and there's skills to test. Like, just throw a 3-point. It's like literally we both have the same probability of getting it in the fucking net.
Cute. Okay, I'll lock it in then. But I would have rather golf than basketball. Just let that be known. Let the record show.
Let the best man win. Yeah? I'm going to fuck you up so much in this. Because there is no way on earth I will sleep with you having the knowledge that you think you're a better athlete. Sorry, I couldn't finish that sentence. Sorry, hold on.
Cute.
That you think you're a better athlete
Listen,
than me,
buddy.
right?
All this, save your words. Let's see it on the fucking floor. Yeah? Save your words, I would say. Because all of this shit is being recorded, so you never know what you may have to fucking edit out afterwards. You know? So, yeah.
Last thing to actually talk about on this pod, really briefly, is
if people have made it this far.
You've been crying about me watching content around Trump, even though there's 20 days left on the election. So obviously there's going to be content around him. But it got me thinking of a very funny idea we could do. For the next pod, let's do this. Let's run a smear campaign against each other. A minute and a half monologue against each other, presuming that we're presidential candidates. For somewhere like America, let's say. Even in the UK, they go at each other, right? But let's just do it. And let's write a monologue and let's have it out.
I don't think so.
I'll give you a chance. You've been gagging to be a politician all episode.
No, I think that's a bad idea.
It's a good idea. Let's do it. I will see you there next episode.